Fuji course, Kawana Golf Club, Ito, Japan. A championship layout half hidden in a beautiful Japanese pine forest overlooking Sagami Bay. A match over 18 holes between the winner of numerous international championships, including the Japan Open, and 7 times a member of his country's Canada Cup team, Cheng-Po of Formosa. And one of the most dynamic and long-hitting stars of the PGA Tour, who has fast become one of golf's big money winners, Tony Lema of the United States. To analyze today's match for us, the legendary Gene Sarazen, winner of every major title in golf. I'm George Rogers on the scene here in Kawana, and this is Shell's Wonderful World of Golf, a series of international matches played on the world's most famous golf courses. This week, the Kawana Golf Club, Ito, Japan. Linked together like a chain of gems, Japan is made up of 4 main islands standing at the entranceway to the once mysterious and forbidding Orient. But Japan is no longer mysterious or forbidding. And today, her capital, Tokyo, reflects her almost overnight westernization into a cosmopolitan city, erupting with steel and concrete and bursting with humanity. The largest city in the world, Tokyo boasts nearly 11 million people. Over 600,000 automobiles. Close to 21,000 careening taxis. But only 80 or so rickshaws for people who still aren't in a hurry to get anywhere. Tokyo Tower, the highest structure in the city and its landmark, was completed in 1958. Patterned after the Eiffel Tower in Paris, it is today the world's tallest independent TV antenna. If the sounds of progress keep Tokyo awake in the daytime, then the flashing neon signs of the Ginza, Tokyo's Times Square, and those publicizing her night spots keep the city awake after hours. While samples of Western culture can be found all over Tokyo, reflecting Japan's acceptance of the outside world, much is still retained of the original charm and significance of her own Japanese heritage. World-famous Japanese craftsmanship displayed in shops throughout Tokyo is its own best advertisement. And your bill is still toted up with an abacus, a primitive but more graceful forerunner of today's jitterbugging computers. Many women still garb themselves in the graceful kimonos that have become Japan's calling card elsewhere in the world. And these are woven from the fine Japanese silks, intricately patterned in both classical and modern design. Pearl diving remains a unique Japanese occupation. And from the recovered oysters are produced some of the world's finest cultured pearls. Perhaps the most courtly echo of the traditional past is the time-honored Japanese custom of bowing, the ultimate in human courtesy. But if the swift current of modern life has swept through Tokyo like a tidal wave, then the tiny village of Kawana, about 90 miles to the southwest, has been brushed with the tranquility of a Japanese watercolor. A fishing village of more than 3,000 inhabitants, Kawana is out of Japan's feudal past, a remote speck of land dating back about 700 years, and so far removed in spirit from modern Tokyo as to be fixed in time. The Japanese abhor idleness, and Kawana's humble people do their daily work with a centuries-old stoicism and gentility, returning to their homes with the unhurried calm of the setting sun. Nearby, the same tranquil atmosphere pervades the twin 18-hole golf courses of the Kawana Hotel, the Oshima course, which opened in 1928, and the scene of today's match, the Fuji course, completed in 1936. Japan is enjoying the greatest golf boom in the world today, according to the Honorary Secretary of the Japan Golf Association, Mr. Uji Kodera.
We now have close to 2 million golfers in Japan and over 300 courses. For what limited land we have available for the building of others. 50 new ones are under construction. But people have taken up the game with such a passion that we need twice as many.
We're here on the spacious practice green, which fronts the beautiful grounds of the Kawana Hotel, watching Cheng-Po and Tony Lema taper off their warm-up for today's match. And we might mention to the folks, Gene, that last night we were paid a visit here by a young lady by the name of Della, one of the early typhoons of the season, and she just dumped tons of water on this golf course. Fortunately, they have great drainage. We might run into a little casual water through the fairway, but of course, if the players tangle with that, they're entitled to drop without penalty. Gene, I don't think I have ever seen two players work any harder on their chipping and their putting than these fellows are today.
Well, you know, George, I think they're very smart because, in my opinion, this match will be won and lost right around the greens. You know, this Japanese Korai grass is a lot different than you'll find anywhere else in the world.
That is very true. I know, Gene, you saw Chen play a couple of years ago in Hong Kong, and, of course, since then at the Masters. Have you noticed any significant changes in his game?
Oh, yes. He's worked very hard at firming up the top of his swing. You know, you won't find Chen off the fairway very much, and you'll notice later on that he's flattened out that swing a little.
Now, Tony Lema, Gene, also has a reputation for being very straight off the tee.
Well, you know, Tony Lema, with all the tournaments he's won and the prize money, he has to have all the shots, and boy, he has them. He's over 6 feet tall, and he has a close stance and a very upright swing.
Well, Gene, with one fellow being a little on the flat side and the other quite upright, then there's a good contrast, and everybody looking in should have something to observe and study. Chen, how come we don't see more of you on the tour over in the States?
I like to play in your country a lot more than I do. But being the professional at the Tokyo Golf Club keeps me pretty busy.
No, but that's for sure.
Tony, is this your first visit to Japan?
No, Gene, about 10 years ago, when I was in the service, I played in Kyoto. And everything you've heard about these Japanese golf courses is true. They're in marvelous condition, and if you don't place your tee shots around here, it's going to be an awfully long walk.
Well, at least we don't have to walk to the first tee, Tony. They've got the hotel bus up there on the hill ready to take us down. So while we get started, Gene, maybe you tell the folks at home something about this great Fuji course.
Sure thing, George. You know, the Japanese are just as artistic designing golf courses as they are flower gardens. They like to admire beauty, and they don't mind climbing the high tees here at Kawana to enjoy it. Now, here's something you don't see too often, multiple tees. On several holes, they have one for championship play, 2 regular tees, and 1 for the ladies. Some of the fairways here are protected by diagonal bunkering, designed to trip up both high and low handicappers. But they're the kind of fairways any golfer likes to hit off. They're carpeted with Korai grass, which is very firm. You won't get any flyer lies here. To look at these flat greens, you wouldn't expect them to be so tricky, but wait till you try putting on them. That short, wiry grass can put some pretty big bends in your putt. If you do 3-putt, don't go wandering off in a fog. You might fall off one of those ledges into the bay below. All in all, you can find first-class golf and unsurpassed scenery here at Kawana.
Here on the first tee, we're waiting just a few minutes now to the beginning of our match, and we'd like to remind you that our players are competing for a total of $5,000 in prize money. $3,000 to the winner, $2,000 to the loser, $2,500 each in the event of a tie. Our match will be 18 holes, medal or stroke play, under the rules of the United States Golf Association. The only legal size ball in Japan is the larger American ball, so both players will be using it today. The charming young lady standing on my right is Mrs. Yukiko Nimi, who will be our scorekeeper for the match. She is chatting with a gentleman on her left, who is Mr. Tomatsu Yokota, the president of the Kawana Hotel and Golf Club. The other gentleman is its executive managing director, Mr. Kiyoshi Sawakuri. Our referee for today of the Japan Golf Association, Shinoharu Iune. By the way, our course today will play to a length of 6,622 yards to a par of 70. Now it appears that they are just about ready for the toss of the coin. There's the toss of the coin. It has been called by Tony Lema, but it has been won by Cheng-Po, and he will drive first.
The par 4 415-yard first hole plays from a highly elevated tee looking towards Sagami Bay. Your tee shot must carry about 200 yards of sharply descending rough. The beginning of the fairway is protected by a bunker, and the hole swings gently to the right to a green protected on the lower right by a bunker. As with most holes here at Kawana, the first has an alternate or winter green, which is visible to the left. Now here is Cheng-Po, a native of Formosa. Took up the game of golf at age 16, turned pro at 20. Chen is married. He's the father of 4, stands 5'7", very compactly and strongly built, 147 pounds.
he has hit a right-to-left tee shot, which will be close to the edge of the fairway on the left, if not in the rough. Hits on the fairway, bounces just to the edge of the rough on the left. And now Tony Lema, a native of Oakland, California. He now plays out of San Leandro, a Marine veteran of the Korean conflict, a pro since 1955. Tony is married, stands 6'1½", and weighs 180. He is aiming right center fairway. And Tony has hit his ball straight away. If anything, it has a little left to right fade also on the left-hand side, but he'll be about 20 or 30 yards in from the left-hand rough, left center fairway.
You'll notice that the four caddies dressed in white uniforms are young girls, as are the caddies. Female caddies are customary here in Japan. Cheng-Po pulled his opening tee shot just into the rough on the left of the fairway, about 240 yards out, but he has an absolutely perfect lie at his light rough, and he has a completely open shot to the green. He will hit a 7-iron. Chen starts it right. It swings in, catches the front part of the green, and pulls up dead in line with a pin. Good approach from the rough here on the first hole by Cheng-Po. Tony Lema had just about a perfect opening tee shot here, 265 yards left center fairway. He's going to play just a little 9-iron. He could probably reach this with a full wedge if he wanted to force the shot, but there's not much point in that. He's playing from a soft fairway due to the torrential rains of last night. And you saw him just kind of punch that 9-iron up. He catches the front, takes a big bounce, and then stops dead inside Cheng-Po's ball, dead on a line with a pin. Cheng-Po's fine 7-iron approach from the rough here stopped 18 feet short of the pin. Tony Lema, who's inside him 9 feet away, has just marked his ball. And now these boys will tangle with this tough Korai putting surface for the first time. Chen's putt is uphill. It is with the grain. The grain of the grass is growing slightly right to left as he looks at it. So you would expect that the ball would also have a right to left break as it slows down nearing the hole. Let's wait and see.
Did it ever? Cheng-Po wraps in that 18-footer right in the heart of the cup for a birdie 3 here on the first hole. Now, Tony Lema was very carefully watching the amount of break that putt took. He had a chance to study the line that Chen's ball followed. He has almost the same putt. Now we'll see if Tony Lema can match that birdie. Tony uses a bullseye putter, brass-headed. Caught the right lip and did not go in. This grass is so stiff around the hole that if you don't hit the dead center of the cup, it will not drop. A par 4 for Tony Lema, birdie 3 for Cheng-Po, and Chen leads by 1 stroke after the first hole. But, Gene, there was an instance where Tony had a chance to study Chen's putt, but couldn't seem to do anything with it.
Well, he hit the ball a little too firm. You know, it didn't take the roll that he had expected to get.
In other words, if that ball is slowing as it reaches the cup, it will break more.
It would have gone into the cup.
Right into the back of the cup. Cheng-Po birdies the first hole here at Kawana Golf Club. He is 1 under par, leading by 1 shot on shells. Wonderful world of golf. Chen continued with the honor on the second hole, a 411-yard par 4. From the elevated championship tee, he hit a well-controlled left-to-right fade, which carried the deep valley and bunker on the right and finished 240 yards out. As his wife, Betty, looked on, Tony, mindful of the out-of-bounds guarding the hole all the way on the right, aimed for the safe side of the fairway. His fade failed to come off as planned, and he caught the rough on the left some 265 yards from the tee. With the pin tucked behind a bunker guarding the left side of the green, Chen aimed his 5-iron for the open right side. He pulled the shot slightly, barely carried the sand, and pulled up almost pin high 26 feet to the left of the pin. Tony found himself with a side hill lie in the rough, the ball below his feet. Positioning the ball more toward his right foot than normal in order to catch the ball on the downswing, he aimed straight for the pin. He came off the shot ever so slightly, cut it a bit too much from left to right, and saw his ball finish pin high on the extreme right side of the green, 45 feet from the hole. Lema lined up his approach putt, which had an apparent right-to-left break. He barely missed on the high side of the hole, and, being a bit too firm, finished some 4 feet past. Tony then proceeded to mark his ball as huge dragonflies, called tombo by the Japanese, swarmed around the green. Chen's putt in the opposite direction had a left-to-right break. Perhaps influenced by the amount of roll Lema's ball had gotten, Chen failed to hit his hard enough. Realizing that on Korai grass greens, even the shortest putts can be unpredictable, Chen carefully lined up his 2.5-footer. And he made it to remain 1 under par. Tony had this putt to save his 4. And he rolled it in to remain even par and 1 stroke behind after 2 holes. It is no happy accident that the golf courses of Japan are among the world's most beautiful. For the ability to create and appreciate beauty is an integral part of Japanese tradition. Here is practiced the ancient craft of twisting and pruning trees over hundreds of years into living works of art. Here, the delicate skill of flower arranging has become a fine art that is an important part of every young lady's education. Perhaps it all starts here, this Japanese preoccupation with the beauty of line and form. For the skill required to trace the intricate patterns of Japanese writing is but a step removed from the art of the master painter. And it is this skill that has made the Japanese into what so truly has been called a nation of artists. In recognition of this tradition, and to help ensure its continuance, Shell of Japan each year sponsors a contest to encourage young, talented, but relatively unknown artists. The prize-winning works are exhibited in this annual show, and this Shell-supported event has become one of the more important on the Japanese art calendar. For it is here that the young artist can gain the recognition and the rewards that will encourage him to continue. And though the work of Japan's modern artists may puzzle some traditionalists, it is a true reflection of the strong Western influence that is so much a part of modern Japan. Why does a company whose main business is the selling of gasoline, oil, and other petroleum products spend time and money in the support of an annual art exhibition? Because Shell believes that it should be an active member of each community in which it lives and works. And the encouragement of young artists is as much a part of Shell's constant pursuit of excellence as is the supplying of quality products and services. In Japan and the world over, this is the symbol of Shell's dedication to excellence, of Shell's continuing search for new products, new ideas, new ways to serve you better.
The par 4, 450-yard third hole here at the Kawana Golf Club in Ito, Japan, is doglegged to the right by a stand of pine trees and a series of diagonal fairway bunkers. From here, the fairway climbs steeply, offering a semi-blind approach to a hidden green guarded on the right front by a bunker. Out of bounds protects the hole all the way on the left. Cheng-Po, who is 1 under par thanks to a birdie on the first hole, retains the honors here in the third tee. This is a rough par 4 hole. You can considerably shorten up your second shot if you want to play it nervy and try to cut over that dog leg. And he is aiming just at the corner of the pine trees. And that's exactly where he has hit it, and he is going to carry it well over that bunker, right into the heart of the fairway. There is a beautiful tee shot. Now here's Tony Lema, and this hole has been laid out for a fellow with Tony's swing. He likes to fade that ball left to right, so he can start it considerably left and just burn it and bring it back into the fairway. And he is aimed well to the left.
And there's that little tail at the end of it, and there is a gorgeous tee shot. He, too, has carried it way over the bunker, gets the kick off the hill back down toward the center of the fairway. His four-caddy has marked his ball, and as you can see, he is out there well past Chen. We have had a pair of tremendous tee shots here on the third hole. Cheng-Po carried the farthest bunker on the right, wound up 265 yards out. But to show you how tough this hole is, he still has a full 4-wood shot. It is all carry, all uphill. He has turned over on the ball, carries it into the mound on the left. It will kick off the mound and finish up right at the edge of the putting surface, pin high, and that worked out pretty well. Tony Lema's tee shot finished on the left center of the fairway, and I mean, he really hit it into this uphill hole. He is 275 yards from the tee, but he too has a long, long shot, in this case a 3-iron. Tony took plenty of time, started it way out to the right, and boy, did he ever push that shot. He also takes a little kick off the no-low, and he finishes almost pin high, way to the right side of the green, just in the fringe which guards the putting surface. Well, Tony Lema came off his 3-iron shot here on the third hole just a little bit, and he's just a couple of inches off the putting green, but he is better than 70 feet from the hole. And if he can get it down in 2 from here, it will be doing very, very well. He asked his caddy to pull the flag, and he'll concentrate on the speed of this putt rather than the direction. Started away right, it's breaking down left. Boy, there's a pretty darn good putt from over there, I'll tell you. He left it maybe 3.5 or 4 feet short. But actually, if he was able to lay it up anywhere within 5 feet or so, there he was doing very well. Now, Tony will mark his putt. Has marked it. You can possibly hear a train going by. That's the Tokyo Express. The railroad track's not too far from the course here. And that's headed for Central Station, Tokyo. Now, Cheng-Po has a 25-foot putt. He saw Lema's putt break from right to left, so going the opposite direction, he is almost certain that his putt will break in the opposite way, namely from left to right. And it does. And it goes in the side door. Cheng-Po is now 2 under par. He birdied the first hole, parred the second. He has birdied the third. And now this is really a tough putt for Tony Lema. He must now get this one down or fall 3 strokes behind in the match. And Tony Lema just made his to remain even par through 3 holes, but now Cheng-Po leads by 2 shots.
The 4th hole is a descending par 5 of 482 yards. The line for the tee shot is just to the right of a row of umbrella pines, and the second shot carries over a deep valley toward a huge green, bunkered both left and right. Cheng-Po drove 260 yards dead center. Tony Lema pushed his tee shot 280 yards into rough on the right. Chen's 2-iron second finished in the fringe a 1.5 foot off the green, 35 feet to the left of the pin. Lema's 4-iron finished between fairway bunkers on the left, 120 feet short of the pin. He then wedged to within 5 feet of the hole. After Tony had marked his ball, Chen decided to chip from the fringe with a 3-iron. He bladed the ball slightly and knocked it 8 feet past the hole. Chen was still away. He missed on the right and was forced to tap in for a par 5. Tony had a chance to close the gap. And he rolled in his 5-footer to go 1 under par and move to within 1 shot of Cheng-Po.
Well, Gene, it is indeed not often that you'll see a player of Chen's caliber take 3 to get down from 35 feet away at the edge.
Well, George, I don't think his club selection was very good. He had a very close lie there. He should have used at least a 6-iron. Instead, he took a 3-iron, and that ball just shot away from the club.
Always with something a little more loft, get a lower elevation, and chip it part of the way to the hole.
Yes, never use a 3-iron when the ball is lying that close.
Well, it looked as though Chen might pick up another stroke, but instead he dropped one. We've completed 4 holes. Chen is 2 under. Tony Lema now just 1 shot back at 1 under on Shell's Wonderful World of Golf.
On the fifth hole, a 181-yard par 3, 2 orthodox pars, no change in the match. Tony Lema continued with the honor on the par 4, sixth hole, a 434-yard dogleg to the right. Aiming his tee shot over the hillock on the left, he hit a long, high fade, which finished in the center of the fairway 275 yards out. Cheng-Po aimed for that bit of fairway visible from the tee and hit exactly the opposite type of shot, a right-to-left draw which finished left center fairway 255 yards off the tee. Chen found himself with a full forward left to the small green. He started the shot well to the right, but its hooking flight carried it onto the alternate or winter green to the left, some 60 feet from the pin. Tony chose a 4-iron for his approach. And he struck an excellent shot, which caught the front part of the green and pulled up almost pin high on the left, 18 feet away. Chen was permitted a free drop off the alternate green to the nearest point of relief, no nearer the hole. After Lema had marked his ball, which was dead in line, Chen prepared to chip with a 9-iron. He failed to carry on the green, the ball catching in the fringe, and left himself 20 feet short. Chen had a long putt to save his par 4. He hit it 3 feet past and marked his ball. Lema, having removed his glove to putt, as is his custom, lined up his 18-footer. He just slipped by on the left and tapped in for his par 4. Chen had this putt for a bogey 5 to stay even in the match. And he got it down. Both players 1 under after 6 holes. Well, Gene, Chen just made his first bogey of the match here by failing to get a chip close enough. What is the technique on that shot?
Well, the thing that he's supposed to have done, he didn't do.
What was that?
Keeping his head down. You notice just as he came into the ball, he raised up, and you can't do that when you play a short shot. You must stay right down there and go through with the stroke.
Same as if you're playing a driver.
Same as a driver or a putter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we finished 6 holes now, and our match is all even. Both players 1 under par on shells. Wonderful world of golf. On the 7th hole, a straightaway 393-yard par 4, both Lema and Cheng-Po were on in 2 and down in 2. The match still even, both players 1 under par. On the 8th hole, a 150-yard par 3, which plays from an elevated tee, Chen hit a 6-iron 30 feet to the left of the pin, while Tony bunkered his 6-iron 40 feet short of the pin and to the right. With a bank almost directly in front, Tony had to get his ball airborne quickly, opening his stance for an outside-to-in swing and his club face for quick loft. Tony cut the ball up to within 2 feet of the hole, matched Chen's par, and held the match all even. The 9th hole, a par 4 of 367 yards, is one of the most unusual holes you'll ever see. A drive to the upper right-hand fairway, guarded by out of bounds, offers an open approach, while a drive to the lower left-hand fairway, though safer, results in a semi-blind second. The green is protected by a bunker to the left front and out of bounds to the rear. Well, we're in the process here of closing out the front 9 with the match still all even. Tony Lema, who made a good 3 out of a bunker at the 8th hole, retains the honor. He trailed Chen for 5 holes, caught him at the 6th. The match has remained even ever since. And Tony has hit a gorgeous tee shot from right to left, which is not his normal type of shot. He usually will fade the ball, but boy, he really hit that one hard. He's down on the lower left-hand fairway. And now Cheng-Po has a real big tee shot to follow. Through the first 8 holes, I think on the average, Chen has probably had to give away, maybe 15 yards off the tee. But he's been very, very steady with the placement of his tee shots and his approaches. Now that one he has hit pretty much to the right, and that is going to wind up down on the lower fairway.
Cheng-Po tried to carry his tee shot onto the upper level of this split-level fairway, but he hit it a little bit too much right to left, caught the bank of sloping rough in between, and finished in the lower level of the fairway. He's perfectly all right, except that he has a semi-blind approach shot. He is going to hit an 8-iron. He gets off the tee about 260, I would say. And he is going to carry that shot just short of the green on the right, but it rolls on the green. Tony Lema has hit the biggest tee shot of this match to date. He hit this one with a little draw right to left, 300 yards, and he has just a little wedge pitch left of the green. It is very true that that ball that is hit with a draw will roll farther than the ball that is faded left to right, although Tony normally fades the ball. He's going to carry his wedge onto the front of the green, a big hop up near the pin, and he has hit a beautiful approach here at the 9th. Cheng-Po has asked the caddy to remove the flag here in the 9th hole. He lies 20 feet from the hole. He started to get up and address the ball, and then went back and took a second look at the pitch of the green. He subjected the grain of this grass to very careful scrutiny, as he has done on every green. Good for speed. Right in the hole, and Cheng-Po birdies number 9 to finish 2 under par 33. He has had quite a 9. And now Tony Lema, who hit a beautiful wedge shot about 5 feet from the hole, will have an opportunity to match that birdie. He is also 1 under. If he can get this down, he will finish 2 under 33. And he matches the birdie. It went in the side door on the right. He dropped the putter. And Tony Lema has also birdied the 9th hole to finish 2 under par. Gene, that was quite a first 9. I'm interested in getting your impressions.
Well, George, we saw some beautiful golf on that 9, and I was very much impressed with Chen's wonderful iron play to the flags, and also some very nice putting. And, of course, Tony Lema's terrific tee shots, and on the first 5 or 6 holes, his approach putting was very outstanding.
Chen, I think you'd have to say that you've putted these greens before, pal. You knocked in 3 snakes there, the first and the third, and here at the 9th.
I don't think I believe that putter can make it.
You don't want to go back and try it again, do you? Yeah. Tony, you made a pretty good comeback. You were 2 shots down after 3 holes.
Yeah, I thought we left Billy Casper back in the States.
I think he followed Joe here. He puts just like Billy does. Well, you must be pretty satisfied with your 9, too, Tony.
I can't complain. I played so-so, made a couple of short putts.
Made one pretty good one right there. So both these fellows now finished 2 under par 33. The 10th hole is right over that away, and what do you say we get started on the backside?
Okay.
Very good. See you over there. This 10th hole is a short hole, a par 3, 143 yards. You play to a slightly elevated green, which is completely ringed by sand, and there's out of bounds all the way down the left side of the hole. On the 10th, Chen missed the green, but recovered well to match Tony's par 3. Both players 2 under going to the 11th. From the hilltop tee, the par 5, 550-yard 11 swings sharply left past a solitary pine to a beautifully convoluted fairway. The second shot is aimed right at that lighthouse behind the huge 2-level green, which measures 165 by 75 feet. It's protected by 2 bunkers on the left front and by 1 on the right. Sagami Bay provides a spectacular backdrop to the right and rear. From the 11th tee, this certainly must be one of the most beautiful views in all of golf. This tee, by the way, is called the Eisenhower tee. It was opened up for play back in 1962 when they played the Third World Amateur Golf Team Championship here at Kawana for the Eisenhower Trophy. Tony Lema aiming well left, going to bite off a big hunk of dog leg. Ooh, brother, did he ever hit that ball. Now, he hit that as he did on the 9th, a little bit right to left, and he has carried it down over the trees. He is taking the short way home. Now, I'll have to watch carefully and see just how much of this dog leg Chen is going to attempt to bite off. He is not endowed with Lema's length off the tee, and I doubt very much he'll aim that far to the left. Where Tony hit it, you really have to drive it a mile to reach the fairway. Chen played it very, very safe. He hit it out there where there's a lot of fairway, and he also hit it right to left and put it right smack in the middle of the fairway. Cheng-Po has hit his longest tee shot of the match right here on the 11th hole. He took advantage of the fall of the fairway and busted it out there 280 yards. I don't believe he can reach the green, but he can come awfully close to it. He has a 3-wood, and the only thing he doesn't want to do here is hook the ball because there's out of bounds all the way along the left. He started it well to the right. It is beginning to hook in, and he has knocked it just shy of the front edge of the green. He hit a beautiful shot. Well, Tony Lema hit himself another tremendous drive here on the 11th hole. He really cut the corner and hit it 300 yards, but he just failed by maybe 6 inches to reach the fairway. He has a downhill lie, a tree in his way. He is going to try to hit a 2-iron and hook it around that tree and run it on the green. And if he pulls this off, it is going to be some shot. Once again, out of bounds on the left. And he hooked it right into the grass between the bunkers. And he will now have to pitch the ball to the back level of the green to get it close. Tony Lema's 140 feet or thereabouts from the pin. And the pin is on the back level of the green. He has an 8-iron, and he's going to try apparently to run this ball. He did. He hit it on the lower level. It is going to come up the slope, and he put it about 12 or 13 feet away. Tony Lema has marked his ball. Chen is just short of the putting surface, but he is better than 100 feet from the pin. He can play 2 types of shot here. He can take a wedge and try to pitch it up to the upper level, or he can do what he is going to do, take a very straight-face club, and that looks to be about a 3-iron, and try to run it. In other words, play it like a long putt. Now it comes up over the top of the hill, and it will stop just inside Tony Lema's ball. Both of the players are going to have at least a chance at a birdie 4 here in the 11th hole. Tony Lema left his ball about 13 feet short, and Cheng-Po left his about 11 feet short. Now, Chen will watch Tony putt first. They're both putting slightly uphill against the grain. He'll watch Lema carefully to try to pick up a little bit of information as to how hard he must hit his putt. There was no question about that one. Tony Lema hit it right in the hole for a birdie 4, and now he has moved 3 under par, and these fellows are scoring very well on a darn difficult golf course. Tony, there was never much question about that one going in.
George, how do you like the way I'm putting these wire brushes?
I like it real fine. I bet you're happy with it, too.
You bet I am.
Chen took a good look at the speed of that ball of Tony's as went up to the cup, and now he's putting a little bit across the green, too, from 11 feet. And he matched that birdie. How about that? 2 birdie 4s here at the 11th hole. The match still tied. Both players now 3 under par. Gene, these fellows are putting so beautifully. Of course, Chen knows the greens. Tony has learned them practically in a couple of days.
Well, you know, a tournament player like Lema has a great advantage because he's playing a different course every day. And, you know, the average club member doesn't have that opportunity, and that's why he doesn't improve as much.
Very, very true. We have now completed 11 holes. The match is still even, but now both players are 3 under par on Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. On the 12th hole, a 404-yard par 4, doglegging sharply to the left, both players were on in 2. Chen 35 feet from the pin, Lema 10 feet from the hole. Chen had this putt for a birdie 3. The ball took a tremendous right-to-left break and finished 3 feet below the pin. After Chen had marked, Tony lined up his downhill 10-footer. He barely missed on the right, and tapping in, matched Chen's par, both still 3 under. On the 13th, a 395-yard par 4, 2 orthodox pars, no change in the match. The 14th is a 416-yard par 4, which is dog-legged right, 250 yards out by a fairway bunker. A lone umbrella pine guards the middle of the fairway, and the small green is protected by a bunker on the left and by a mound and a fallaway on the right. Tony Lema, continuing with the honor, aimed close to the angle of the dogleg. He hit a big right-to-left draw, which finished in the center of the fairway, 275 yards out. Cheng-Po lined up on much the same line. He skied his shot, however, and pulled it to the left side of the fairway, 235 yards from the tee. Due to the angle of the dogleg, Chen had a full 4-iron left for his approach. He swung it out over the pine tree, but drew it a bit too much and caught the left front bunker. Lema found himself with only an 8-iron left. He hit the shot high in the air, but saw it pull up some 45 feet short of the pin.
Cheng-Po turned over on his 4-iron and pulled it into a bunker which guards the left front entrance to this green. He has a bank right behind him. As you can see, he's going to have to pick that club up very abruptly. And he's a good 90 feet from the hole. That's a long explosion shot. He's got that blade open to get some quick loft, digging in the feet. When he got it out and carried it onto the green, he exploded, I would say, about halfway to the hole, and he had really an impossible lie down there to get the ball close. Tony Lema, I do not believe, was too happy with his second shot. He mentioned as he came up on the green that he hit it just a little bit fat. In other words, hit behind the ball and got turf before he made contact, and of course left the ball quite short. He is some 45 feet below the pin. Giving it a pretty good stroke. Boy, I'll tell you, he's been right around that hole all day. He laid that ball dead a foot past from 45 feet, which, particularly on difficult greens such as these, represents an excellent putting effort. Tony taps it in for par 4, and through 14 holes, he remains 3 under par. Chen had an almost impossible lie in the trap and exploded the ball out about 40 or 41 feet short. Tony, it looks like the door might be open for you right here a little bit.
Looks like I've got a chance for, a real good chance for the first time today, George. He had a very difficult trap shot.
Has he given it enough? It fell off a little bit on him from left to right, yeah, and...
About 1.5 feet, huh?
Even putts like that aren't...
They sure aren't.
Aren't cinches on this golf course. So, whether Chen makes his putt or not, now Tony Lema is going to move ahead in this match for the first time. Took you 14 holes, poke a nose in front.
That's right. He's a pretty tough little character.
He's a great player. Chen makes a bogey 5 here at 14 to slip to 2 under par, and now 1 stroke behind Tony Lema, who goes ahead of the match for the first time today. Gene, some folks might not appreciate the trap shot they just saw Cheng-Po make there.
Oh, but I do. He had a tough shot, and I was glad to see him get out of the trap. You see, he was so close to the bank that he had to have a very upright swing, and out of an upright swing, you can't get the distance.
It was actually a heck of a shot to get it halfway out of the hole.
Beautiful shot.
Indeed it was. But he bogeys the hole, so 14 complete. He is now 2 under. Tony Lema 3 under, leads by 1 shot on Shell's Wonderful World of Golf.
From the elevated back tee, the 15th at 470 yards is a back-breaking par 4. Tony Lema aimed his tee shot out over the trees on the left and hit a tremendous left-to-right fade which ran down the roller coaster fairway some 295 yards. Mindful of out of bounds and Sagami Bay on the left, Cheng-Po aimed well to the right. He drew his ball from right to left and finished on the left side of the fairway 270 yards out. Chen, with a long uphill carry on his blind second shot, went with a 4-iron. He hooked a bit, hit short of the green, and found the deep bunker on the left. With the ball above his feet, a stance which tends to induce a hook, Tony aimed his 5-iron well to the right of the pin. The ball failed to come in enough and caught the alternate green on the right. For the second hole in a row, Chen found his approach shot bunkered. This time he hit his wedge a little thin and skidded 15 feet past the hole. After Tony had taken a free drop off the alternate green no nearer the hole, he prepared to chip with a 7-iron. His ball ran over the right lip and stopped 6 feet past. Again, Chen had a long putt to save his par. He left it short, and bogeying 2 holes in a row, moved to 1 under par. Tony had this putt to move 2 strokes ahead with 3 holes to play. The ball literally went into the hole and came out, so Lema also bogeyed the 15th to remain 1 stroke ahead at 2 under par. Japan is ever a land of contrasts. The same people who have taken so avidly to golf still revere the ancient art of the Japanese theater, where the old legends are told and retold in a rigidly standardized form that permits of no change. The traditional no plays, where masked actors perform in a highly stylized manner that is as unchanging as the stories they tell, are still a favorite form of entertainment. The famed Japanese puppet theater still attracts a loyal audience who comes to see the old stories performed by actors who are almost more real than life. The Japanese have a highly developed sense of the traditional and a keen appreciation of the new. On Tokyo's busy streets, you will see kimono and obi-clad housewives enjoying a form of entertainment that is as new as today, the transistor radio. Young lovers in the quiet parks make the old vows to the accompaniment of their favorite music, and you hope they're both listening to the same program. And in the home, the family gathers before the transistor television set to watch their favorite shows. Shell is playing an important role in the transistor industry, for which Japan has become world famous. Here in the Yokohama depot, an amazingly versatile product of Shell research, Shell Epon resin, is being loaded for shipment to a Japanese transistor factory, where it will be used in the manufacture of the necessary printed circuits. But this is only one use for this product. From these golden flakes come paints that protect this ancient gate of Tokyo. Plastics used in the manufacture of fine sporting equipment, such as archery sets, fishing tackle, and golf clubs, which, however, are not guaranteed to improve your game. New and important uses are being discovered each day for this versatile material, and Shell Epon resins have taken their place among the hundreds of products of Shell research, which mean a better future for you. In Japan and in your hometown, this is the symbol of that better future, of Shell's constant search for new products, new ideas, new ways to serve you better. On the 16th, here at the Kawana Golf Club in Ito, Japan, a 185-yard par 3 to a shelf green, both players matched regulation figures. Lema still 2 under par and leading by 1 stroke. On the 17th, a long uphill par 4 of 410 yards, Lema continued with the honor. He aimed over the fairway bunker some 225 yards out, but pushed his tee shot well out to the right into deep rough 265 yards from the tee. With Tony off the fairway, Chen had an opportunity to make his move. Despite the fact that he had been hooking on the past several holes, he followed Lema into the right rough 255 yards out. Cheng-Po found the unusual in the deep core-eye rough, a fairly good lie. He attempted his long uphill second with a 4-iron. The ball climbed high in the air and just failed to carry the grass wall of a bunker guarding the entrance to the green, some 85 feet short of the pin. Lema's lie was not as fortunate. He was snuggled deep in the tough, wiry core-eye. Unable to reach the green in 2, Tony went with a 5-iron. He ripped the ball out of the deep grass, saw it bounce twice and finish in the sand. Still 110 feet from the pin, Tony dug in to play his long explosion shot. And he hit a remarkable recovery to within 12 feet of the flag. With another good lie in the grassy bunker wall, Chen prepared to chip with his 8-iron. He hit a trifle behind the ball and saw it pull up 21 feet from the hole. Chen's putt for a par had a slight left-to-right break. His fine effort caught the right lip but failed to drop. So Chen marked and subsequently tapped in for a bogey 5 to go to even par. Tony needed this putt to remain 2 under. However, he too missed to bogey the 17th and go to the 18th 1 under with a 1-stroke lead.
Gene, we saw a difference in technique on that hole between the foreign pro and the American pro.
You're so right, because the American pro there would have pitched that with the wedge, while the foreign pro tried to play a pitch and run.
Referring to Chen's third shot from the lip of the trap.
You're right.
We go now to the 18th hole, 1 shot separating the players. Lema leading by 1 under par here at Kawana, Ito, Japan.
The 366-yard par 4 finishing hole here at Kawana plays from an elevated tee to a narrow fairway tightened by a series of bunkers left and right from 220 to 250 yards out. Your second shot carries a rise to a pedestal green surrounded by an unusual combination of sand and grass bunkers. Well, this is it, the last mile. And here is Tony Lema trying to protect a very slender 1-stroke lead. And from this back tee, that fairway, believe me, does not look very wide. It is beautifully bunkered on either side. Tony is aiming down the left side and will try to fade that ball in, I imagine. And that is what he did. He started at left. It is fading right, and he has hit it right smack in the right center of the fairway in perfect position. Now here's Cheng-Po, and you can bet that there is but one thing on his mind. How am I going to get a birdie here at the 18th to get back in this match, tie it, or maybe even win it? He has a tough tee shot to follow. Tony really hit his way out there and placed it ideally. Beautiful rhythm. Didn't force it, didn't hurry his swing. Hits a lovely draw shot. He won't be out quite as far as Tony, but he'll be right in the heart of the fairway. There's no question but that this is a great driving hole, one of the better tee shot holes on the course, and it produced 2 excellent tee shots. Cheng-Po, 265 yards, and Tony Lema about 5 yards past that. Chen will hit an 8-iron here to the home green. He is carrying it high in the air. He will get it pretty close to that pin. Pin high on the left. Now Tony Lema, who has just that 1-stroke lead that we mentioned, is going to play a 9-iron in here, and this is one of the finesse shots that the pros play because he is too close to the green to play a full 9. This will be about a 3/4 shot. Tony takes plenty of time. He too pitches it high into the air, dead in line with the pin, and another beautiful approach. Well, we have come right down to the last putts here on the 18th green under dull, leaden gray skies which have been with us all day. Cheng-Po is 21 feet from the hole. If he can get this putt in for a birdie 3, he will finish 1 under par, 69. Remember, 3,000 to the winner, 2,000 to the loser, 2,500 apiece in case of a tie. It missed on the low side of the hole. He had it judged almost perfectly, another inch or so to the left, and he would have canned it. He gave it a real good try. So Chen is now going to putt out. And Cheng-Po makes a par 4 here at the 18th for an even par round of 70 and a fine round of golf. Now this putt for Tony Lema is for a 2 under par, 68. And that broke away on the left. Tony will tap in for 69. He is the winner by 1 shot.
Chen, Tough luck. You ran up against a tough customer there.
Thank you very much, sir.
Tony, I want to congratulate you for that wonderful round of golf.
Thank you, Mr. Saracen.
How do you enjoy playing with Chen?
I really did. I'll tell you one thing. He's a wonderful player and just a prince of a fellow. I really enjoyed playing with you, Chen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and very appreciate to you.
Well, I want to thank you both for playing such a wonderful game. George Rogers?
Well, Gene, we came a long, long way to Japan and to Kawana, one of the finest golf courses in the country, hoping it would produce a great match, and it certainly did that. Just a thrilling match. George, we'd like to thank you once again for acting as our official referee.
It was a great pleasure of mine, and I'd like to have you again anytime you want.
Can't come back soon enough, I'll tell you.
Oh, that's pity.
Wonderful country. Yuki, again, how did they finish officially?
Tony Lema finished with 100 par 69 and Cheng-Po even par 70.
Two very fine rounds of golf.
Yes.
Thank you for acting as our scorekeeper.
Thank you.
Now let's join Gene for some tips on technique.
Give a high handicapper a buried lie in soft sand, and chances are you've had a triple bogey or worse to a score. Here's Tony Lema to demonstrate some fundamentals that, with practice, can save you those extra strokes.
The techniques for the buried lie are quite different than those of the normal trap shot. Rather than positioning the ball well forward, put it more to the center of the stance. Instead of laying the face of the sand iron wide open, close it or toe it in considerably. In place of hitting the sand 2 inches or more behind the ball, hip down sharply an inch or less in back of it. One principle remains constant. Follow through completely, or you're apt to find yourself digging in for another try.
Mastering the long irons takes more time on the practice tee than the weekend golfer can usually spare. Here's Cheng-Po to demonstrate a more logical club selection, the 4-wood.
As with the 2-iron, position the ball for the 4-wood shot just inside the left heel. At address, set the hands slightly ahead of the ball. Take everything away in one piece, and on the down swing, make sure you head down on the ball. Never try to scoop it. The shallow face of the 4-wood will give you quick height and good distances, even from a very tight lie.
To our two players who gave us such a fine match, and to our friendly hosts here at the Kawana Hotel for making our stay so memorable, we'd like to make a deep bow of thanks and say goodbye.
Not goodbye, George. Sayonara. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today on Shell's wonderful world of golf.